We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids! All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
Hello, and welcome to a totally normal edition of The Lunch Break here on RNCN. I'm Matt. I'm your host. With me is Anna.
Hello.
And Christina,
Hey.
of course. And in the booth is Zach.
Oi.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, I'm in here talking like an idiot. Like, ha! Wait, I didn't turn my mic on, and nobody can hear me except me. My
go.
God, this image looks washed out. You guys can't see it, but it's really something else.
Oh, yeah, you're really bright.
Now, let me.
Do you have the lamp on in there, or is it?
No, hold on. Let me see if
Try
I
that.
got that.
Try that lamp out.
Yeah, got it. Oh, that's a little better.
There you go.
Okay, that's an awful lot of blue in a weird way. That's arguably worse. It's fine.
It'll
It's
work.
fine.
It'll work.
If only you could go back in time and push that button
Hilarious.
behind.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I suppose we should discuss why we're wearing costumes today on November 2nd. It is not Halloween, although we were not here on Halloween, or most of us were not here on Halloween. I was not. I can tell you that much. Christina, I don't think you were
Yes,
either.
I wasn't either.
And we didn't have a show on Halloween, so we didn't get the chance to come dressed up and look cool or anything like that. So obviously, I'm a scary bird today, or I'm a plague doctor rather. Anna,
I think
Excuse me
you
while I
should
wrestle with this
hold your
microphone.
mask just right on top of the mic.
Yeah.
So I am. You need to pretty much go to the Instagram account to figure out my whole bodysuit, because right now it just looks like I'm just wearing these like shirt from
it looks cool.
I am not 100% sure if this is the like late 80s or early 90s.
That's
but
an early 90s thing.
right?
I think, yeah.
I own this. I actually own this as a two-piece shirt and skirt. And then I had like 90s shoes, so I am from the 90s.
And her earrings even match. It's super cute. I love them.
And the heels. And the heels.
heels.
The heels
Yeah.
are
I'm not
great,
going to do
yeah.
the thing where I take my shoe off.
Well, I was good. Well, okay.
I wish
Do
we
you
had,
want
like,
it?
a
Fair
shoe
enough.
camera.
No, I was gonna say, do you want to like stand up so we can get like a?
Well, we can't really.
You won't get the shoes in
You
shot
can go
anyway, I
to
guess.
5. You can go to 5 maybe.
Okay, yeah, good.
Oops.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there
you
you
can see
go.
it on 5. Yeah. All right, fancy. Yeah. Look at that.
Christina, you are a piece of pizza? Is this what
I am. If anyone ever watched all that, like the 90s kids, I
Yeah.
am piece of face.
It's a good bit.
I like this because you said that this came in a like a Nick box, like you get a month, or not monthly, but like quarterly Nick box. What other stuff has come in? Nickelodeon, by the
Let's see,
way.
what have I gotten? I've gotten like a Chucky cosplay from Rugrats.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
So like with the Saturn shirt and the purple glasses.
That's cool.
I've gotten like a lot of cool shirts. Salute Your Shorts. Rocco's Modern Life, like everything that was from the 90s. I've gotten like little figurines.
Got cat
It's
dog?
amazing.
Any cat dog stuff?
Yes, I do have a cat dog figurine and a cat dog USB drive. So
Oh,
when you
wow.
take it apart, they
Oh
come
my
apart.
God,
It's
really?
super cute.
That's
Yeah.
pretty clever.
That is rad.
Any Ren and Stimpy stuff? That was my jam.
Yes, I have Ren and Stimpy coffee mugs.
That would be.
Oh,
your jam.
wow.
And a soap
was.
dispenser where the soap comes out of Stimpy's nose. Like it's not. It's
Okay.
really cute.
That's
I love
good.
it.
Arguably, I wouldn't have thought it would come out his nose. I thought it'd be another thing. Ren and Stimpy was a rad show, man. It was a show.
It was ahead of its time.
Crazy.
I gotta be honest.
Certainly.
The best part about Christina's costume is that the pizza, like the mouth hole, is so big that you can have pizza while
yeah.
having a pizza face.
And this is my favorite type of pizza, so I could eat this actual pizza
Was
Like,
that olives
and green peppers and pepperoni. Yes.
Really?
It's my favorite.
It's a
I
good pizza.
don't think I've ever had it.
It's a decent pizza.
And Zach,
Yeah,
did
Zach,
we
you're
did we
dressed
talk
as the
about
80s.
you?
Yes,
Because man,
Well, here, I forgot my cool shades. Yeah, I dressed
Oh, yeah.
as Marty McFly, and let me tell you, I'm a big Back to the Future fan. Let me slide those on there. Yeah, I'm a big Back to the Future fan. Man, nobody remembers Back to the Future. Like people walked up to me like they didn't know I was dressed up at all. They thought I was just wearing clothes.
It's just like a
normal-
cool vintage look, kind of right now.
Here, because I went to the trouble. I'm gonna show this off.
Yeah.
I got this, and I got the suspenders.
Suspenders,
I got
yeah.
the red
Nice.
undershirt. I got the swoops, which I spent way too much money on. Like I came correct.
It's good,
And
no.
people, man, it's a bummer when people don't recognize your outfit when you put so much work into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I just go for as creepy as possible.
Well, mission accomplished.
Okay.
yeah,
at least.
Matt.
It looks good. It's a good look.
You had a very creepy Halloween story. Well, creepy.
I had a terrible Halloween story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it. Hold on. I apologize.
I love
I'm not going
this.
to be able to do the show
I
this
think
way.
I'm
Excuse me,
convinced
one
you
second.
should.
There we go. That's better. Now I can see you just fine.
Very great.
All right. Now, sight gags aside, I'm going to actually
Oh, wait, are
legitimately
you
take
taking it
this
off?
I'm going to have to. I
Okay.
can't.
all right.
I can't.
I figured
read
you'd take it
anything.
off during the break. I didn't think you'd.
No, I'll just do it now.
All right.
And everybody can see how like red and flushed my face is.
Now you're a monk.
We're so
Here we go. I'll
real.
put the. See if I can get the hood
Two
back on.
costumes in one.
I'll get it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Halloween, for as much as I was looking forward to it, it actually ended up being quite terrible. So I was out at a conference. I had spent the day out at a conference, and I was rushing back. I left a little later, so I was rushing back home to get the garage all set up because we had a whole thing set up. We had an old rocking chair and a record player and stuff, and we were kind of doing like this old woman's living room type set, you know, doilies and things like that. And Megan had her old woman makement on and a wig and stuff.
Oh, Megan got in on this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. And so I was gonna have to get home and like drape off part of the garage, and that was it. And we were ready to go. And then I had like overalls that I was gonna put on, and this really creepy baby mask that I was gonna wear. So the whole idea was like she was gonna be like, "Has anybody seen my grandson?" And then I just come like charging around the side of the house and fighting children.
It's a good bit.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
it was
goodness.
really
Yeah,
funny.
I'm
We had a
into it.
dog. We had a dog kennel set up and a bunch of creepy little drawings that I had done. So I am about 2 miles away from my house, and I'm sitting at a light, and my car stalls out, and I'm like, "Well, this is odd. It hasn't happened before." And I go to restart it, and it's something in the engine has broken, and it was completely dead. Like I am sitting at a light. I'm the first person in line, of course, at this light, and the engine is completely shot, and I'm just dead weight basically. And people are behind me honking. Like I have my blinkers on. I'm going like this to come around me,
And
they're
is
still
it
back there
raining?
honking. It was drizzling at the time. Yeah, it was drizzling. So a guy happened to come by and had a truck, and we tried a couple things, couldn't get it restarted, so he just sort of towed me around into a neighborhood out of the way. And on top of all that, it was drizzling at the house, so there was hardly any kids coming by. So Halloween was completely shot, and I spent the entire night waiting by the car for AAA to come and tow me back to my house. And now I have probably a couple $1,000s worth of repairs to do on the car. Luckily, we were fortunate enough. My wife has one, so that's what I'm driving right now. She works from home, so it has worked out. But yeah, Halloween was a total bust for me.
Oh.
That's a bummer.
I had a similar story, but it's not nearly as engaging as like thousands of dollars and unfortunate damage. I tried to order a pizza, and I had a real bad run-in. This applies to Christina, of course. Not actually, no, but I'm sorry. I can't get over the pizza mask. It's so great.
It's really good.
I keep cutting back in the middle of
really
that
good.
story, like you just listening intently.
I'm
The
just
pizza
like
mask.
shaking my head.
It's a
I'm
good bit.
serious pizza, guys.
Okay, so what happened to me? We ordered Domino's delivery because we were trying to figure out what we were gonna do, and I was like, well, I don't want to go out and eat because it's Halloween. We live in an apartment, so we don't have anybody coming by to trick or treat.
What is your sense of how busy the pizza place is on a Halloween night, because you like the Super Bowl. If you try to order pizza on the Super Bowl, you're not getting that thing for 3 hours.
Right. I mean that was my assumption, so I put the order in early. Like,
so you're thinking this is a busy night for pizza?
Wouldn't anybody? Right? I think we can all agree.
People hanging out.
Yeah, it's a busy night for pizza. Sorry.
Busy night for pizza. Yeah.
All right. Yes. Sorry.
I did have pizza as well on Halloween.
Yeah.
And it took forever.
As a pizza, what are your thoughts on how busy?
Me and my friends look forward to Halloween every night. It's a busy party night for us.
Yeah. So I ordered pizza, and I slid this order in like 6:45. Ordered online, Domino's. It was great. And they said about 45 to 58 minutes. Rolled it by Christine. She's like, that's fine. It's like 7 minutes up the road. I don't mind going to get it. But she wanted to order it in. We watched a scary movie.
What'd you watch?
It was good. We watched. It's more a spooky movie, I should say. We watched Haunted Mansion, the Disney film. Has a robust 16% on Rotten Tomatoes, and let me tell you, it is a winner.
I wonder if it's either spooky or scary.
My God, it was right in that. Like, they just did Pirates of the Caribbean, and they were like, "Ooh, we're gonna make things out of all of our rides, and it'll be great." And like, it's not. It's something. But so we ordered. It takes like an hour to get there. Guy shows up, gives us the food. It's the wrong pizza on the box. And I should clarify, it was the right tag on the side of the box. It had our toppings listed. It had our address, but it was the wrong pizza. We ordered a pepperoni and ham. They gave us cheese. Bummer.
Okay.
You can understand. I'm sorry. So I called him up because it's like, well, what do you do at that point? Do you call him up? Do you wait? What do you have any experience with this?
As far as getting the wrong,
you get the wrong pizza. Is it worth calling them and saying, "Hey, you got it wrong," or do you just eat it? And I mean,
I would, and I wouldn't. I don't know if I would expect them to bring something out. I think they normally would bring you something
or
different.
Credit you. Yeah.
I'd rather go for the credit then, and because now you've waited for the wrong pizza to arrive, and now they're gonna have to start the whole process over again. So it's now become what was once a 1 hour process. Now you're at least 2 hours deep. And when I order pizza, I want pizza.
Right.
That's what I'm going for.
And I don't want to have to go out and get it because I'm ordering it. It makes sense, Christina.
If only your face was a pizza, guys. your problems would be solved.
So we ended up doubling down. We were like, just send a new one. It's fine. They said 30, 45 minutes. We'll get it out fast. Great.
Or they put you at the top of the line. So that's the other thing.
Right.
That's the other thing that I think goes on is like they have this weird pecking order when it comes to pizza places.
Sure.
And like they'll tell you it's an hour, but really, if they want to get you that pizza quickly, they can do it. Well, they just don't necessarily want to.
Right. Of course. Like anybody would think that is the thing. So 30, 45 minutes. 90 minutes later, I get a phone call.
Wow.
Hour and a half. So I ordered it at 6:45. We're coming up on 9:15 now. And I got a call from a guy. It's not the guy who had originally tried to deliver our pizza. It's some guy who's lost and can't find our apartment in our apartment complex. Man, this guy really struggled to understand him. Real thick accent, so that was a problem. Definitely a communication barrier. At this point, Christine grabs my phone. She's like, "I'm gonna go stand outside and just flag you down."
Wave.
And I'm so frustrated. I'm like, well, I'm staying up here where it's warm because I don't know. It was drizzling and it was cold and it was like 50 degrees or something. And then after 5 minutes, I realized, I should be a good boyfriend and go hang out.
How would you rate the complexity of your apartment complex as far as deliveries? Do you have problems with deliveries in the past?
Yeah, actually. Here's the thing. Each building in there has an individual address. So, like, while the office has one address, my apartment building in the complex has a different address, and we're on the fence line of another apartment complex. So people will often end up in that apartment complex looking for us. It's a whole how to do, but regardless. I go downstairs, and Christine's on the phone with the manager at Domino's at this point, who's apologizing profusely. He explained that they sent out their slowest guy to bring us the pizza. I'm not sure why he told me that information, but
hold on.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, that guy sucks. He's the worst."
Really?
Yeah.
I said that?
Yes. Yeah, it was great. So she ends up. He says, "Tell you what, I'm just gonna slide a fresh one in the oven for you. We'll send another one out." Because we can't.
So you're 3 pizzas deep at this point.
Yes, and right. And so she at this point, she's like, "You know what? I'll just come get it." And I'm like, "Damn it, you can't now. You've given up on the whole thing. Now we might as well have just gone and gotten it in the first place." What we end up doing, we go and get it. She went in and got it. I'm normally not a guy who gets super angry at customer service. I was fuming. I was like, it's been 3 hours and you still haven't gotten the right food to the right place. You do this for a living. Domino's is a storied institution. They started in Detroit in 1922. What's taking so long?
If anybody's figured out how to deliver pizza by now, it's Domino's Pizza.
It's Domino's Pizza. Yeah, and they had not gotten this down. So I ended up going to get it. At the end of the day, what I got out of my 3-hour wait for a pizza on Halloween night was a free cheese pizza, two breads, basically cheesy bread or whatever.
That's all right.
The pizza I actually wanted, and a $20 credit for next time.
Okay.
That's not bad.
I mean,
That's a feast.
Yeah.
it is, and I got a wedding this weekend, so we're still trying to figure out how to kill a cheese pizza between now and
Just do it.
2 hours.
Take it on the road. Take it on the road with
road
you.
pizza. Oh yeah, I probably
Yeah, road
will.
trip.
Yeah.
Food.
I don't appreciate you talking about killing pizzas. I'm just letting you know.
enjoying a lovely
That's right.
pizza.
Yeah, it's delicious.
face.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Do either of you have any exciting? Did you have any? Trick-or-treaters at the?
Well, I
apartment?
went to a friend's house.
okay.
They're gonna be our neighbors, or should we say, we're gonna be their neighbors. So they were like, "Oh, come over. We'll have trick or treat." And so we went over. With a couple of other friends went, and yeah, just kiddos coming around, and we were watching this movie called The Witch,
Yes.
or
Oh,
The
wait.
Witch.
a New
The
England
VV.
The VV.
folktale.
Yeah.
That movie is
goodness.
rad. I'm totally into that movie.
The funny part is that there's a lot of nude scenes, like just nude bodies around the movie,
Yeah,
and of
there is.
course you have children by the door and their TV kind of like
Come
you
on
can
in.
peek, from the outside to the
Yeah.
inside, and we're like,
It's the true
let's
horror
just
of
hope,
life.
yes, let's just hope the kiddos don't like see any like murdering scenes or like
Sure.
gore or like bodies like being sliced or something. They all seemed good, but hey, eyes on the candy, I guess that's why
Right.
that's
They-
all they cared
They
about.
could care less about what's
Yeah.
happening in that house.
When you're
So
a
it
kid,
was
you don't
fun.
even know if there are people in that house. It's just
Yeah.
there's candy.
Oh, oh my gosh. So someone, one of the kids, like, she was probably like, I don't know, super small. I was gonna say on feet, but then I remember I can't convert yet. So I was like, whatever. So a really small toddler. My friend has a dog, and she holds the dog, and she's like, yeah, I don't need any candy.
What?
She wanted the dog.
Oh, she just wanted the dog.
Yeah. She's like, I'm good, and then she left.
So she just wanted to come and pet the dog, and that's
Well, she saw there was extra rather than just candy. She's probably had like a really filled pot, and she's just like, perro.
What
And
is
she just
that?
like pet it and just like left.
wow. That is a
I
very
think she
mature
didn't take any
child.
candy. I think that's what they said. Now I'm like, did I
Strange.
ask her?
That's very strange.
That's definitely a U-shaped relationship, though. If some dude rolled up to your house who's like 45 and is like, "Hey, I like your car," and then walked away, you'd be like, "What was that about?" Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not
but
so
that,
sure about
that
that
is
one.
cool of that kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Christina, are you house, apartment? What?
I'm a house, but I actually ended up scrooging out. Well, actually, nobody really got it's a townhome and it's a really small neighborhood.
Yeah.
So we don't really get a lot of trick-or-treaters in there. Like, it's super, super small. So I ended up going to a bar and playing poker, free poker.
Okay.
Yeah. And I made final table. It was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Final table.
Yeah,
Wait,
final
can you-
table. You
Can
get
you play
points.
poker in
Yeah.
Texas?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
It's free. Like, it's called like the amateur poker league or something.
Oh, okay. I thought you just couldn't gamble at all.
Well, it's not gambling if you're not using real money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you like, yeah.
Were you using
Also
candy?
not fun.
Also,
No.
I think
Pizza?
I wish pizza.
I
was
think the
using
rule.
olives.
I think the rule is you can't gamble if the house takes a cut. So I think you could host a, like I could host a poker game, but if I were to say, "Hey, give me $5 for pizza," and that would be technically illegal. I think if people were having to like pay in to
Got
be
it.
there.
Yeah.
Did you get anything out of it? Like, was there a prize for the free poker? Was there like here's a treat or here's a,
You do.
toy.
You can win if you get first place. You win $100.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can win money. Because it's like a poker tournament or whatever.
Okay.
But all I did was drink a decent amount and sit at the final poker table with my boyfriend's dad, who also plays poker there, and that was. I have some apologizing to do later. I don't know.
Do you have a cool poker persona? Do you have like glasses or something? You're like really serious.
I play dumb, and I do play dumb. A lot of people don't take me seriously.
Okay.
So like, especially when I was blonde, I would always be like, "Oh my god, what does two kings mean?" And like, it works. People will go all in, and then I go all in, and then I take all their money, and then they get mad.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
See,
Yeah.
all of that right there is why I don't play poker. Like, I'm just not.
So you'll just get snowed.
I
By the
am
Christinas of the
dumb.
world.
Yeah, like it won't work.
Well, when we come back, we're going to take a quick break because we've been going for a little while. I do have a story that actually relates quite nicely to me because we were left with, probably 20 pounds of candy because we were expecting
Right.
a big night. So we prepared for it. I did have a kid come and break the fundamental rule of Halloween. Now, we were giving out candy for a little bit. There were maybe 6 or so kids that came by. But at some point, I was like, all right, the wrecker's going to be there soon. I'm turning off the lights. I got to be ready to go whenever the tow truck shows up. And had the lights all off. Some kid comes knocking on the door. And I'm like, I couldn't yell at him, but in my heart, I was like, what are you doing? Like, I don't want to give you anything. I didn't give him very much. I gave him a couple things. I'm like, get out of here.
Get out of here, kid.
Just go
Halloween
on.
is over.
But now we're faced with this. What do I do? What do I do with an entire bowl full of candy? So we will answer the question, how long does Halloween candy last? We'll have that coming up here on the lunch break on RNCN Stick Around Music. Here we go. There it is.
Oh, I left my mic on. Damn. Sorry, guys.
そしてこれ何ですか。ちょっと中田翔が入っているんでしょうか、立山さん。おっと、そしてピッチャーは前剣が入っているということになりますが。前は果たして見えるのか、貞子。一球対決お願いします。一球対決です。速いボール、かや子が打っている。そしてかや子はただ走れません。とかや子が潰れると息子の敏夫がやってきた。そしてその敏夫が一塁に駆け抜けるということでかや子の勝ち。いや、今普通に打ちましたよ、立山さん。
いや、投げる方もすごかったですよ。
いいボールでしたし、
Welcome back to the lunch break. Can I say the most impressive part of that was the pitcher? She had like the wig over her face and still managed to throw a heater. It was a little high and inside, but that's all right.
It's really something. I like it a lot. I'm a big fan of like.
Sorry, my phone fell.
Lord.
Only in Japan do you have. God, what was going on there? The Grudge.
Yeah.
Hit a ball, right, and then stop, collapse on the mound, and have a pasty kid in underwear run up, tag in and run it in for
Tag in as a
like
pinch
really something else.
Yeah.
And there's like 8 mascots standing around. They all look adorable. Yeah.
It
God,
was yeah, that was great.
Japan's fantastic. Also, Christina's in here with me, by the way. I just wanted to make
Hello,
sure
Christina.
the whole world's aware of that. I didn't give her a mic.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
see you're
Probably
completely.
should've.
She can yell.
Hey, you don't see anything in there, all right, Anna Xavier. you sit there and you do your show, all right. You don't worry about what's happening here.
Anna did a
Sure,
quick
sure.
conversion on the math there. That was about a 60 mile per hour. We'll call it a change up that she threw over the
Yeah.
plate there. Not too bad.
Oh, it wasn't. You're right. It was in kilometers. Because for a second I was like, that was 96 miles an hour.
If she threw 96, that's Nolan
Yeah.
Ryan out there in a.
Supernatural.
I do want to check now. I'm still the person that
you're gonna
still
do the
needs to
actual-
convert. Yeah.
I'm sure it's
Hang
fine.
on. It was 96.
96
96
kilometers per hour.
Live calculations here
Yeah.
on the lunch break. Crunch those numbers.
The old computer is
It's
working.
not showing. Sorry. Wait,
Oh,
wait,
gosh, there's
wait.
no way to
I
know.
need to click 2 times.
This is the spookiest thing.
Oh,
about
all
Halloween.
right. 59 miles
59,
per
all right.
hour.
Pretty
You
good.
were
Pretty
almost
good.
there. 59 miles an hour.
Hooray.
It's pretty good for a lob.
All right.
Pretty good for a ghost.
As we said earlier, I'm stuck with a lot of Halloween candy. Probably some of that will make it up here.
I think we need the sad horn.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have
let me turn that up. Go for
which one is it? It is this one, I think.
Love it.
There it is. Happy horn.
Just to bounce it out. It's fine.
So yeah, I'm sure some of that candy will make it here. I'm sure much to the chagrin of people upstairs.
That is a little spooky, frankly. Oh, God.
I don't know what to do with it. Like I've got to do something.
What
with
is the expiry date? I would expect that it lasts a whole year.
it. So that's
no?
what I said. I was like, let's hang on to as much of this as we can
Right.
for the next year. So, if we're talking about chocolate, how
Okay.
long does chocolate last? Well, apparently, according to Eater.com, dark chocolate will last for a year or two if it's kept in a cool, dark, and dry place. All of these you need to keep dry. You don't
Right.
want wet candy because who wants that? So dark chocolate will keep for a year or two. Milk and white chocolates will last up to 10 months, again, in a dark, cool place. So that the milk chocolate might not make it, which I think is what we have. We don't have
Gotta
any
risk
dark,
it.
have any dark. You're just going to, yeah.
You
Here
gotta
go,
risk
kids.
it.
This is,
For you, Matt, I'll risk it.
hard candies like Jolly Ranchers, lollipops, things like that. Those can last pretty much forever as long as nothing happens to them. As long as, again, they don't get wet. Caramel and nougats and candy corn. Candy corn can survive for up to 9 months. That's good to know for me because I love candy corn.
So you got a bunch of that autumn mix over there?
I still have some left. I ate all the pumpkins and I ate most of the regular
Can't-
candy corns.
I
So
don't
now
think-
I'm left with the terrible chocolate
We
ones.
talked about this with trail mix, man. You can't be the kind of person who goes digging through and finding the best of the bunch, all right? You take the handful and you're on your way. That's the autumn mix. You take the good with the bad. That's life.
So
That's
I
how
didn't
it
mean
works.
to. I didn't mean to.
Stop.
But
You
like,
didn't mean to.
I
You
didn't
sifted
go
all
out and
those
say I'm going to eat all
on
the
accident.
pumpkins. Well, what happens is if I go in for an autumn mix, I'm gonna get a pumpkin. Like I'm gonna root around until I get a pumpkin
Right.
in my mix.
Yeah.
And you do that enough times, the
Well-
pumpkins are drastically underrepresented in the autumn
Right.
mix.
I was going to say, the pumpkins are like the strawberry in the fruit salad of the
Yeah.
autumn mix. Yeah, there's not that many, and you got to get them when they count.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like if I'm using that methodology, I'm gonna come out where I'm left with no pumpkins.
Right. Well, what about the normal candy corn and the chocolate? Come on.
The chocolate's
That's-
no good. Chocolate, get out of here. Normal candy corn's good.
Yeah, right.
I just smash a few of those together and you get a pumpkin.
Right.
So that can last for up to 9 months. The caramel nougats can last from 6 months to a year. So those may still be good. I've got some
Okay.
Milky Ways and things like that for the kids. Those may still be good. And gummy candies or jelly candies can last up to a year if they're not opened. So I have, I think I'm pretty good on most of the stuff. We may risk it on the chocolates and see what happens to those kids. They can't tie it back to me.
Right.
They can't trace
I
it to
mean,
me.
who will? Who will
They'll
find
never
out?
know.
Who will be like, so this candy was from this house and that candy was from that. Unless,
never know.
unless you're like extra and you mark your candies from like,
I
you
don't
know,
do
like
that.
you do like a themed Halloween house,
Little goodie
whatever,
bags,
like
yeah.
garbage,
Right, like little-
whatever.
little
yeah, and you
bags.
give like little baskets or
Yeah.
something.
Little,
I don't know. Maybe.
Like a thief in the night. What does the Stoker household get for Halloween candy? What are you going for? You're getting some mixed bags, right? You're not going for anything particular.
No, yeah, we go for the popular stuff. Like we
Okay.
go for the goods. You know, your Milky Ways, your M&Ms, your we have some Sour Patch Kids in there. Nerds, those are pretty popular. Little boxes of Nerds. And Megan got a thing of Haichu, and I don't know if
yeah,
they're good.
Oh, I love some high chews. Those are
What's
great.
high shoes?
Those are underrated candies. What they are? They're candy from Japan.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're kind of like a. Gosh, I guess the most equivalent thing would be like a Starburst.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're sort of chewy fruit flavor.
You can find them at your local 7-Eleven. So yeah, they stock
they're good.
Haichu.
I mean,
No
they're
lie.
not bad. They're not bad.
I'll bring some in sometime. They're good stuff. I like them a lot.
I've got a lot that I can bring in.
Oh,
I think I
please
want
do.
candy. I want to
I'll
try
jam on some
candy
Haichus.
corn. Okay.
Try.
Hold on a second.
Try.
Yeah.
I
Hold on. Hold on. Are you saying you've never had candy corn?
I keep looking at it, and I think I didn't have it.
Okay. All right. We'll
Not okay.
we'll sort this out.
Who can go get a bag right now?
Yeah,
We have
who
an
can get
intern
us
we can send.
Some
Who
pumpkins.
do we have?
Send a team.
Yeah.
Send a team.
That's right.
The other
It's
thing
probably
you-
on sale now.
The other thing you may be looking at is what to do with your Halloween costume, especially kids. When you were a kid, did you have a costume that you went back to? I guess you really didn't do much.
We do like a carnival
Okay.
thing in February. Yes.
So did you have a favorite costume that you wore over and over again?
My mom used to make costumes. She would actually handmade them.
My mom would too.
And so no, she just kept on keeping. She would make them, and then she would put them in these kind of like boxes, and she would like store them. And
Yeah.
like actually, I sometimes wore things that my mom wore when she was a kid.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That's cool.
So that's pretty neat. Yeah.
Zach,
So
Christina,
I didn't have one.
Did you have any that you went back to?
Yeah, my mom was the kind that she'd make outfits herself, which was super sweet. Now, I kind of grew up too fast. I'm like 6'3", and like that didn't help me at all. So like I aged out of my costumes pretty fast, I think. But they're definitely neat. This one I'm gonna hang on to for a while.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, you can get some use out of that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Christina?
Christina, any?
We slide this mic over.
Can she hear us?
Oh God.
I can
go.
hear you.
You got it. You
Hello,
got it.
world.
It's
Yay.
fine.
We're doing this. I don't know. My parents just always bought me costumes. They spoiled me. I was an only child.
I had some that I remember a friend of our family made like a full-on dinosaur costume. Like it
Oh my
had the
God.
head and everything. And like my face just fit within the mouth, I think it was. And it had a long tail. This was probably when I was like 6 or something like that. So I
Right.
grew out of that one. I don't know that I ever rewore that one. When I got into like middle schoolish area, I made a costume for the Shadow, which I don't know if anybody knows what the Shadow is. It's a old pulp novel character.
You mean with like the trench coat and the hat?
Trench coat, red bandana, hat.
Okay. I don't remember the band. Oh yeah, I do remember the bandana.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
cool.
The Shadow. Yeah.
It was awesome, and I don't think I ever wore that one again. So yeah, I tend to love costumes and leave them. If you do want to get some further use out of your kid's costume or your own costumes, here are some things. Or if you just want to find something good to do with them, you can obviously donate them. So there are actual places you can go. One's called the Halloween Helpers. I'm not sure if they're local here.
That's cool.
But they'll take costumes for, I guess, kids who don't. I guess it's like a Christmas thing, like an angel tree thing.
But yeah, but it's one of these things that can be overlooked, right? Like your kids want to be something for Halloween, but the parents don't have enough money to make the costume or just buy it. So actually,
which is
that's a
cool.
really
I didn't
cool
know.
thing,
I didn't know that
yeah.
existed, but that's a cool thing.
Thrift stores normally for Halloween, they actually have a really good selection, and they go all out on social media, kind of like, yeah, you can get us. Actually, I got wigs for my costume from my local out of the closet thrift store.
I
Plug
also
there.
thrifted a lot of this outfit from that same out of the closet thrift store.
Nice.
It's a really rad thrift store.
So that's the other thing you could do is try to sell your costume back if you had.
True.
if
Or you
had
can
pieces
rent
that
it.
Right. Yeah.
That way you don't have to stick with it. You just
Man, I should be renting Marty McFly. Shoot, look at this. For all the trouble I went to.
you
It's
should
not that
definitely-
you could rent that out.
I'm
Like, you
not.
could-
I'm not bitter about this costume at all. I didn't spend too much money on this. It's fine.
And then the last one here, at least listed here, is you could try to sell them on social media. It's all about getting rid of them. I don't know. I guess kids want to change up their costumes. Year by
Yeah,
year,
actually, my mom used to reinvent costumes out of like some things that she did.
Yeah.
Like if some specific fabric was either very expensive or it could be multi-purposed, and of course things were too small for us to fit in she would just kind of like revamp them, and I'm like, thanks, Mom. I got all the thrifting from her, like my mind.
So that was a good experience. That was like,
Oh yeah, totally. And we always had like, you know, I don't know. How do you feel about like those plasticky outfits when you wear it and you know, like material like either rips off easily or
yeah,
kind of.
I don't feel good about those. I feel like I left those in the dust a long time ago.
Right.
You
have
it was
high
like
quality
if
stuff.
I'm gonna do something, like I want to at least feel cool in it.
Right.
And
Not like halfway through. You
Right.
want to be all in, right?
And no offense, like I like, you know, plenty of kids come by wearing the plastic, you know, bought from CVS costume, and they're just as happy as any other. If that's your thing, it's not
Don't
for
get
me.
me wrong. No. What I want to say is like if you're wearing something that was tailor made for you, you kind of feel like, you know, no one else has these costumes.
Yeah.
Like it's totally unique. Maybe like a shade darker than the original, but you're like, you know, it's perfect. It fits me perfectly.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I lovingly refer to those costumes as a costume in a bag, like, which is exactly what it sounds like. You just go spend $60 or whatever, and it's like, yeah, here's a plastic mask and a goofy nylon outfit you can wear that's one size fits all. I'm the same way. If I'm not a dress-up guy normally, if you can't tell from all of this, but if I'm gonna dress up, if I'm gonna wear something like from a movie, I want it to look like it fell out of the freaking movie. Christine at home had to talk me down from like spending an extra $50 on a vest because I was like, it's that shade of red, it's just that closer. She's like, stop, like you're insane. I'm like, no, but I want it to be, you know, I want it to be awesome. Like that's the whole thing. So I don't know.
Love it.
We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, do humans love dogs more than other humans? That's the easiest question to answer in the world, but we will answer it for you with science. Coming back here on RNCN on the lunch break. Stick around.
And our music's gone, and we probably there it is. Thanks, Matt.
With the assistance of the outside broadcast unit, we will be linking from the database studio to their home. Pat Green and Julian, welcome to Database.
Hello, Jane.
Hello, Jane.
Now, Julian, I see you have your computer linked to the telephone line. Can you tell us how you did that?
Yes, well, it's very simple, really. The telephone is connected to the telephone network with a British Telecom plug, and I simply remove the telephone jack from the telecom socket and plug it into this box here, the modem. I then take another wire from the modem and plug it in where the telephone was. I can then switch on the modem and we're ready to go. It's now telling me to phone up the main press cell computer, which I will now do. I'm now waiting for the computer to answer me. It answers with a tone, and then I just flick a switch on the modem and replace the receiver. Personal password, which I've now done.
I'd first like to point out that his personal password was 1234. I don't know if anybody caught that.
No, I didn't.
You know, it was the first password ever, so it can be whatever he wants, I guess.
Goodness.
That is a two-parter, folks. Which we will get in another break because we need to see the end of how to send an email.
You know, something that really stuns me about old footage like that, man, I feel like people back in the day, and this is probably well before that video, what I'm about to refer to, like, things are pretty practical, right? Something's broke, you get a wrench, you fix it. Like, you can understand how a car works, you get it. But with the introduction of computers, society had to step back and be like, I don't understand how this works, but I can use it in some form or fashion. And that's that. I bet people looked at that video and they were like, how does that work, though? How does your phone talk to this thing? I don't understand, because practicality
you just phone up the computer and you wait for it to answer.
Yeah, like, and now we've gotten to a point where nobody knows how a phone works. You just turn it on, it starts, and I don't worry about all that junk, and like, it's good. We all got dumber, but I'm glad we have the internet. That's what it was all for. Thanks for watching the lunch break today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
So, to no surprise to anyone, humans love dogs more than people. I'm not even going to try to tease this out. Like, obviously.
Yes.
The way that that this place went about it. This was from Harrison's Fund. It's a medical research charity, and the way they went about finding this out is a little bit dark.
It's horrifying. I was blown out. Sorry,
but I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I've literally maybe had this reaction, maybe not quite so terribly, but so what they did was they printed up 2 advertisements. Both of them had the same text on them. It said, "Would you give?" This is £5, which $10-ish
like
dollars.
$6.
Okay. Would you give £5 to save Harrison from a slow, painful death? That's what it said on the advertisement. Now, the only difference between the 2 advertisements was one of them, Harrison was a young boy. The other one, Harrison was a dog. And people overwhelmingly said, I would give money to the dog to save it from a slow, painful death, not so much to the young child.
But were they shown the 2 pictures at the same time, or they only shown
it doesn't, let's see, it doesn't say. I don't see how they carried out that. I'm assuming they probably just did random sampling. One person got one, another person got another, and then through statistical analysis they find that the group that saw the dog was much more likely to give to the dog than the other group. Because
what I thought when I read that, or should I say when I skimmed through that, was they showed both images, and people overwhelmingly chose the dog. That's what I took out of it.
Yeah.
But I see now that actually, like,
I don't know that it would work. Like, I don't know the research would work if you were shown which one would you give. It has to be like, you know, would you give to this one, not knowing that there's another possibility out there.
I guess you can choose, right?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm actually surprised people chose the dog before the child.
Okay, sorry. I was talking to Christina in here about, you know, technical stuff. People are giving money to a dog instead of a kid? What's going on? Sorry, give me the soundbite.
Yeah, sorry.
Excuse our 4 viewers on Facebook. I need to be caught up here. Yeah.
So this research was basically 2 advertisements. One said, or they both said, would you give £5 to save Harrison from a slow, painful death? On one of them, Harrison was a boy. On the other one, Harrison was a dog. And people overwhelmingly chose, or the people that were shown the dog said, I would give money to the dog, way more than the people who were shown the child.
That is horrifying.
I think, like, to a certain degree, I understand. Maybe not with kids, but I've had this.
What do you mean? Maybe not with what?
Well, no, hold on.
Yeah.
I've had this reaction when I've seen people online saying, I need money for this, I need money for that, and you know, sometimes it's because of a terrible illness. Sometimes it's because of a bad decision that they made, and they, you know, I'm in a bad situation and I need help. And I am way more likely to at least care more about if someone's like, hey, I rescued a dog, and the dog needs veterinary service, right? And I think it all comes down to like how much culpability is with the subject, right? You know, the dog, dog can't do anything.
Right, a dog can go and work for money.
A dog can't, a dog can't work for money.
A dog can't strike up a lemonade stand on his parents' lawn and earn his £5
Right.
like everybody else in the world.
And they also can't really, you know, like they can't make poor life decisions, right? Necessarily. They just make choices. And
but can a child too, though?
Well, that's what I mean. Like when it comes to a kid,
Right.
it's harder to reconcile. Like you can't, like, you know, I think there's similar amounts of responsibility in their situation, but still, I get it. You know, dogs are lovable. They don't want to hurt you. They, you know, despite what people might say, you know, I think deep down a dog doesn't really want to hurt you.
Yeah, cue to the 1,000 photos of your newest dog.
Exactly.
I'm in the booth and I don't get it, man. I mean, and you can understand why. I'm not a dog owner, which is probably a very big part of this. But like, I don't know, the Donner Party. A fine example, a fine analogy for where I'm going with this.
Okay.
All right.
I'm curious.
Bunch of people in a cabin, all right, and we're starving and it's freezing and we're snowed in and we got to make it through winter. We got to eat somebody. Do we eat a dog or do we eat a kid? I'm sorry, like I'm gonna opt for the dog. Like the dog's going. The dog is the first one out. That's step one. So if I got $5 and I can either easily end the life of a child or easily end the life of a dog, I'd probably donate it to the kid. I think that would be my priority of like societal pyramid where we land. The kid goes just a hair above the dog for me, but not for everybody, and I guess I understand that in a chilling way.
So there was another study that was similar where people were shown an newspaper article that said a victim was attacked by an unknown assailant with a baseball bat, right? They suffered broken leg, multiple lacerations. Now they're unconscious. Now, in each, there were 4 versions. The victim was different in each of them. One of them was an adult, 30-year-old adult. One of them was a 1-year-old infant. One of them was a puppy, and one of them was a 6-year-old adult dog. And so, in this study, unsurprisingly, the dogs rated higher than some humans. The adult was at the very bottom of the list. People didn't care if a 30-year-old man got beat up by a guy with a baseball bat. And then it went adult dog, then it went puppy, and then it went infant. Or I think, hold on, I got that. Let me make sure I have that back. I have that correct. Yeah, I'm sorry. It went infant and then puppy. So puppy was the worst of that list. Puppy, infant, adult dog, adult human.
What?
That's insane.
Where are these numbers coming from? You're telling? Okay, I guess I get like the first part, the hierarchy of if somebody had to get beat with a baseball bat, you start with an adult male and then an adult dog. I guess I get that. That makes sense to me, in a weird, twisted way.
Yeah.
Putting the puppy below the infant, though, come on. They're both helpless. All right, like they are. But what? I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I a bad person?
I won't wait in this conversation any further.
Is that what I'm finding out here?
I'll probably end up saying something that people will hate.
If I had to clobber a baby or a puppy,
I don't think they're asking you to do it. Like, would you hit a dog with a baseball bat?
If I had to do one or the other, gun to my head, I'll probably decide that in the moment and not on the lunch break.
All right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Go with that.
We'll take another quick break. We'll see the conclusion of how to send an email, and also. We're coming up on that time of year. Holiday music's about to start playing on the radio ad nauseum. So could it be bad for your health? We'll tell you coming up here on the lunch break on RNCN. Stick around.
is it?
Well, it's a cooperative, really. We all have a part share, but Julian and I mainly use it. The most exciting thing I find is the mailbox where I write to other people on the Prestdale system.
And who have you written to recently? You got any examples?
Yes, I sent a message to my doctor asking for a repeat prescription, and he's left the prescription for me in the chemist.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Pat and Julian. We'll be seeing you later in the programme.
Bye, Jane.
And now would you like to send us a message?
Yes, I will.
And I should be able to get the same message now on my screen.
That's right.
Thank you very much for your good wishes, Pat and Julian.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
If I want to get that message printed out, I can do that as well, just by hitting this button.
My God. I can still hear it.
Hey, what is happening?
I'm sorry, I ruined it.
No, you're fine.
So much.
All right.
What have we learned?
First hot take at the end when she was like, "Let me send you a message," and she's like, "Electronically yours." I refuse to believe that woman, who I assume is the first woman ever to use a computer and the internet, can type at what looked to be like 100 words a minute. Like she was rattling that off. It's like, no, that's
probably
not
could
her.
if
No
you learned
way.
how to
She's
type
never
on a
used a keyboard
typewriter.
in her whole life. She didn't know how that worked.
She could be a typist.
No, not on my
right?
watch.
That's a word.
Yeah.
Typist.
Yeah. A stenographer.
Did they have stenographers?
There we go.
They had stenographers, surely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. If you've learned to type on a typewriter, surely you could type on a
Stenographers are a whole other beast, though. They got a whole.
She
weird
did.
keyboard.
That's like a 6-minute thing, by the way. And
Yeah.
like, she did in there say that they use the computer for word processing.
Right.
Word processing.
Word processing. And so now all of her letters come out perfect. She said so. I assume she's probably done some typing in the past.
I guess Doom hadn't made it across the pond yet.
Right.
but
No, not quite. It'll still be
just
a few
years.
Just
It'll
her
be awesome.
face, like the whole thing. She's like, I use. Oh no. You know when this is near science fiction when they say that they're asking their doctors for prescriptions to be sent via the internet. Really,
Yeah.
like look at us in the 21st century.
We still can't do that.
I
regularly.
still need to like ring my doctor's office and say just activate these things. So
Yeah. They were way
Dumb.
ahead.
That's a sales
They were way
tactic.
ahead.
They got to get you to come into the office. They can charge you for some ridiculous nonsense. Capitalism, Anna. Welcome to America.
So way it goes.
Yeah.
All right. Before
I'm not
we
bitter.
get out of here, we are approaching the time of year for holiday music to come on the radio and everywhere you go. I have not yet been to a place that had holiday music playing. I will say that. It's gonna happen soon. Used to, it was you got at least through Thanksgiving and then it would show up on the radio. Now, a couple weeks into November, you're probably hearing holiday music.
I already heard it in September.
Did you in September?
Yes.
Where were you?
I think I was at Hobby Lobby.
Oh,
okay.
well,
that makes sense.
My friend,
They sell Christmas stuff like year round. at
Right.
Hobby
They don't,
Lobby.
even, they don't
No,
even
but,
put the decorations really away in Hobby Lobby. They just put them higher on the shelves, so
Yeah.
like most people won't notice.
I don't know.
them.
Maybe they started playing the music. So, but honestly, I was there with my friend. We were buying a fall decor stuff.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm like, no.
You can hear it.
And I start hearing it, and I'm just like, it's too soon. I'm wearing a T-shirt.
Was it
what's
it
wrong?
like recognizable tunes, or was it like instrumental versions of Christmas songs?
I didn't recognize it, but for sure it was kind of like you could recognize it with all the like the little
Sleigh bells and things.
the bells, all the bells, and I was like, oh my god, at least it's not Michael Bublé.
Just
Stop
get ready.
that.
That's-
Michael Bublé is an angel, all right?
I like-
You take a step back, Anna Xavier.
Sir.
At least it's not Michael Bublé.
Sir,
How dare
I
you?
like Michael Bublé, but not the Christmas
that
classics. I
much.
can't do it.
It's all about those
He's
Christmas
a good singer,
classics.
but man,
He's a great singer. The man's a legend. Voice
Well,
of an angel.
yeah. So
As to no surprise to anyone, it turns out that holiday music can be detrimental to your health. In the sense that you are constantly hearing it. So this study says that I'm trying to see who did this study. It just says researchers. I'm not seeing who actually did it, but they say the incessant repetition of holiday music can have a psychological impact. At first, it can be uplifting, feels good, right? Some of those songs I like. I was telling Anna during the break, there's certain holiday songs that I would even like occasionally pop on in the summer just because I like the way they sound.
Sure.
Right. The old Bing Crosby's and Frank Sinatra's and things like that.
There's some Christmas music that's arbitrarily like just not Christmas enough that you can get away with it sometimes outside the year. Yeah, sure.
It's all about good feelings and things
Christmas
like,
in July.
So there are some of those that there are some that the second I hear them, I'm done with them. Like the stupid. I don't know if it's the Beatles or if it's Paul McCartney that does the Wonderful Christmas Time song with the dumb.
Oh God, I can't stand that
It's
song.
so bad. It is.
I want to say it's
bad.
McCartney. Yeah.
Whoever it is, it's the worst thing they've ever done, and it plagues stores during the holidays because it is awful. That one's pretty bad. If I hear that one, it does hurt me in a certain way.
John Lennon made "War Is Over" and like was neat, and then Paul McCartney makes that lame ass Christmas tune. It's horrible.
When I was a host in this radio show back home, it was around Christmas time, and my sister was like sending, you could send requests, and my sister every day asked me for Band-Aid.
Oh,
that song that do they know it's Christmas time?
That one's rough. That
My
great
God,
song, yeah.
every day, and I'm like, oh
honestly
no.
asking for it or like trying to
she
troll
loves
you?
that song.
Wow, that's one that's kind of rough to listen
I find
to.
every year I seem to align myself with a different Christmas tune that I'm really into that year. Like there always seems to be a new one that kind of shuffles. I mean, not like new Pentatonics new or anything, but like one that I've heard before. Yeah, one that I've heard before that like that year somehow it speaks to me a little bit more. It's tough though. Yeah, and I think last year's might have been Michael Bublé. So sorry about the explosion, Anna.
This says at first holiday music can be uplifting, but after a while it can cause boredom and distress, and it often reminds people of the other stresses of the holidays, which is finances, having to deal with family, things like that.
Having to cook for like a gazillion people.
Right, exactly. So
driving.
And I have that reaction when I first hear it. I'm like, oh gosh, is it already? It's already time. Like I got to start thinking about gifts or things like that. End of the year stuff. Pretty soon it'll be the new year, and pretty soon it'll be taxes, and it's like a whole thing. It all just runs together, right? We're like, God, we're really ending a year. We're really coming to the end of it, and now it's time to start all over again. I don't know. Do we? It seems like we have a love-hate relationship with Christmas music or holiday music in this room.
Well, I'm surprised this is even news because, to be honest, I love Christmas, but it just feels like any commercial radio stations tend to do this, where they play the same songs ad eternum. It's just all the time. So I'm a bit surprised that this is making it to the news, really, because truly it's just the same model applied to just a few classics that you heard all your life.
Right. That's the thing. There's only a handful of holiday songs. I mean,
that's true.
I can't put a number on it, but I'm sure it's only like a couple of hundred that there are when you compare it to like the entire breadth of other music.
That's the funny thing. Yeah, it's not a handful, but we've heard them all so many times. It feels like it's a couple dozen, but really it's probably 200 or so. But man, you get those radio stations to just play Christmas music from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and like it really does wear on you after a while. It's rough.
Yeah, and so this does suggest to vary up your playlist. There are times whenever I'm feeling particularly festive that I'll put some on, but otherwise I'm not listening to Christmas music all the time. If I had to work in a retail environment where you had to, I don't know what I would do.
I guess you just zone out at some point, right?
I guess so, yeah. You just kind of tuned it out, or try to at least.
I'm a big fan of if I'm doing any easy listening at home, it'll be like the real low, slow instrumentals, because it's a different spin on the thing you've heard a million times.
True.
And if it's like Kenny G, there you go.
Oh,
if it's just
my God.
G. If it's just low enough and like chill, that just a couple, or like maybe like a slow, jazz rendition, like a lo-fi or something. Like I can get into that.
I'm just gonna say Kenny G's version of Auld Lang Syne is on heavy rotation throughout the year. on my play. I'm telling you, like every now and then, I just want to hear. I think it's an incredible version of that song.
I gotta hear this Kenny G track.
It's good. It's really good.
Believe it.
That's a good tune. That's one of my favorites. So, all right. So that's it for us today. I'm gonna guess. We'll be back on Monday because it's after 1 o'clock.
Yes.
We'll be back on Monday. We will not be in costume. I assume we'll be back on Monday. And so until then, have a good weekend. Enjoy your Halloween candy. Anna has joined me today. Christina and Zach, both in the booth. Christina, how's it going? Did you learn how to run a show?
Yes, I'm getting a lot better at all of this.
It's looked good. I've been watching. You've been changing the cameras, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I've been watching. You've been doing a good job. You can cut to me now. There we go. Yeah, that's it. All right. I'm Matt. This has been the lunch break on RNCN. I'm going to fire off this piece of music right here, and we will see you later. Have a good weekend.